afternoon, everybody. Well, it's a good afternoon here in the Lowveld of South Africa. I know it's morning for some of you on the western side of our globe. Thank you for joining us on this afternoon game drive with Painted Dog TV on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. It has been a cool day, which has been amazing. A little bit of a release from the hot temperatures that we have had earlier on in the week and over the past weekend. For those of you that may not know me, I am Gareth. On camera we have Basil. I'm sure Basil's looking forward to having Andrew back this evening. Andrew returns from a 2-week leave today, so he will be back in contention for the guiding seat and for the camera. And then in FC we have Victoria. A little bit of a change of scenery is what I am going for this afternoon. I am going into the west. We've been spending a bit of time in the eastern and central parts of the reserve. I have no doubt we'll end up in the central parts of the reserve at some stage this afternoon, but when I left camp, Basil was like, we're going on Mamba Krankelpad, and he's not wrong. And we'll stay west of the Deep Sloot for a little bit. I want to go and see some places like Skellum Savannah. I don't think I've ever driven there. Victoria was trying to tell me to go and do that on a sunny day when it's beautiful. We got some impalas. Let's see before they dart off if we can capture them on the camera. To all of our pack members, welcome to this afternoon's drive. Mary, Elsa, Barb, Carol, Betty, Rosemary. I think that's everybody. Much rain yet? No, not a lot, Betty. This morning we were hopeful. There was some thunder rumbling when we woke up, and there were enough drops to discolor the sand, but maybe if we were lucky we got 1 millimeter. Hopefully though, this evening, these lovely big grey clouds above me will drop some much needed water onto the Lowveld. But I must say it has been nice. Imagine me wearing a jersey or a jumper, a jacket. For those of you that call it different things all over the world, this is a jacket. In case it does rain a little bit, it is slightly waterproof. I'm not anticipating too much rain while we're on drive, but tonight I hope for quite a bit. Here's a duiker. I remember doing a cold drive once, and I think it was the most productive drive I've done. We saw so much on that drive coming this way. All the animals out and about enjoying the cooler weather after the few days of almost unbearable heat. When you drive around at 4:30 in the afternoon here, they're all hiding away in the shade, keeping out of the intense temperatures. Not today. Today we're sitting in the low 20s, which is quite nice. Not too many sightings out and about, so I got an update before we left camp, or as we were leaving camp. And the herd of elephants are all the way around the corridor area. So we're quite far away, and it sounds like they might be moving into a block, which we know is pretty tough to find our way into. So we'll see what we can find this afternoon. Mumble Crunkle Putt. Trying to take it nice and slow for Basil, but I was just too slow. This is by far the worst section of this road, that 15 meters. And there weren't too many sightings reported this morning. Just some of the jackal pups up in Leadwood. And thinking about it, if we had left a little bit earlier, it would have been a good idea to head up there and try and see those jackal pups. I don't think we've got them yet. Because every time we've been up there, they haven't been found. A day like today would actually be quite good. But now I've committed to the wrong side of the reserve. So we'll just see how it goes. Maybe in the 2 hours of drive, although it will get darker earlier this afternoon because of the cloud cover, the overcast conditions. Maybe if we don't have much luck in the west, we'll head on to Leadwood and come back around down towards Lodge Pan and Concert Road, which is where the jackal pups are, or where they've been seen. I think the problem when you come on this road is then you get tempted by all the crips. Kevin, the only sighting currently is an elephant around Hoofpad, Lowveld of South Africa. I think there's one there.
So you know an elephant sighting? Yeah, I didn't get the other name.
Hoofpad?
I copy that. Any idea on David stations on Blaubank?
No, I didn't get that update when I stood by.
3 network stations on Blaubank. Okay, copy, thanks.
Okay.
T-Roy is responding to elephant position.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pull out the map, have a look. Okay, let's go left here. And then we go right, and then, or do we go all the way? That's Stony Track. Is Stony Track stony? Hey, I can imagine it is stony. But so what? We go to the fence and then we get on to Skellum Savannah. Is that how we do it, Basil? Okay. We shall do it like that. we will avoid stony track then. I think we will do that, Mary. I think on Friday afternoon it'll be a mission onto Leadwood and try to find the jackals.
Kevin, going on to blowbunk number 3.
Ah, there was a lioness at Critter Camp before midnight. That's interesting. On yesterday morning's Zoom drive, we found the 2 male cheetahs interacting with the male cheetah on the other side, on the Blue Canyon side of the fence. Quite interesting to observe that. And then we went back to the lions, who were at Sequoia Dam still, so they hadn't moved from our Monday evening drive. And there were still only 4 of them, so Nioleti hadn't joined up with the other 4 lionesses. So I wonder who was drinking from Critter Camp last night. Maybe it was Nioleti, and she is trying to find the rest of the girls.
Yeah, go ahead. Bamba. Station, Simon Marwell and Leadwood, any updates please? Simon, there's 3 Leadwood stations on Blowbunk. Only active sighting is near Rietspruit and Rietspruit. There's a couple of vehicles there. I'm on my way there, but that's it for now.
Does this go onto Stony Track?
Copy, thanks, Kevin. I'm also going to make my way down that way, so when I get a bit closer, I'll let everyone know that I'm there.
Does this get to the fence?
No, no problem. Yeah, I'm about 7 to 10 minutes.
Have to use there. Let's...
I must be at least 15.
Okay, yeah, it says this on the map. I was just checking, maybe it's cut through there and it does go to the fence. Shows you how little time I spent on this time on the reserve. Kind of finding my feet on the other side of the reserve in the east, but not the west. Most of the action seems to happen there. Yes.
Relocated is Lowveld. It's still moving west.
Yesterday morning, we were talking about the cheetahs.
Negative, just north of Waterbeach Dam on the foot track between Reptile's fence line, they're heading west. So that's all right, but the one that goes from Waterbeach just joins back to Waterbeach. That's a minute. Okay, copy, thanks. I'll be there in about 6 or 7.
So yeah, we were talking about it. Sorry, just the radio interrupting me there. And on this side, the western fence, they aren't really, well, oh, is that a Martial Eagle there, Basil? Looks like it might be. Is it a Martial Eagle? Oh, it's going to take off. Let's see if we can zoom in quick enough. Martial, or is it a black-chested snake? Ah, it's a black-chested snake eagle. When I first saw it, it looked like a Martial, but that yellow eye gives it away, and the size. little bit smaller when you then actually focus in on it. Standing sort of at a bit of a funny angle because of the wind. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, because this side there's no predators, lions or cheetahs, there's hyena and leopard. We know the Antioch female spends time on this side, but you don't often see the lions or the cheetah, especially the male cheetah on this fence line, this half of the reserve. I spend a lot of time there feeling the urge that they need to defend territory and have a presence, because on the BCC side, on the southern fence and our eastern fence, we have lions and cheetah, so they feel like they need to make sure that their territories are good. I think that road does come out here, Basil, look. I think that's that little link. So we could have done that. Good to know for the future. But we're going to go up Skellum Savannah now, which is the next turning. The Bye-Bye and her baby haven't been seen for a little while. Maybe they're out here. Is this it? Huh? What is going on here? There's a whole lot of vehicle tracks going off there that made me think it was the road. It is the road. Basil. It does a funny little switch around here. It does like a hairpin. Okay. So due to the fact that there isn't any pressure from this side in terms of male cheetah, our boys don't feel it necessary to come out here all that often to mark territory or make a presence. And the male lions, I don't ever really recall hearing about them on this fence, but they often go down the other side on the southern fence line and the eastern fence line, because they feel like they need to mark their territories out there. There's the presence of other male lions and male cheetah next door to them. But you might find what is pretty here. I haven't lived already here. Some nice trees. Like, what is that? Can't wait for all the leaves to come and start doing some tree identification. This looks like an interesting specimen. There's a bird bean that's died, maybe. And we've got some, looks like some knob thorns here. Yep. So maybe my bye-bye is up this side somewhere. So I think it's just driven a little less frequently the west because there aren't as many sightings, so maybe there's a good opportunity to find a leopard archer. The black rhinos, I really need to find myself a black rhino. It's incredible that our first night on Rietspruit, Victoria saw a black rhino. And I think one of her first drives she saw them again. And I'm yet to see them. It's a little bit more open out here, hey Basil? we're still going to the best part. That's awesome. Looks like there's a lot of grazing out here as well, which is quite nice. This sort of shorter grass. This area would also be really good, I think. Maybe not that great, but I'm just thinking there's a lot of Maribun material. So if we stop quickly and have a look to the left there, Basil, Maribun materials like this grey grass here, Basil. So this grey grass is all dead, dry stuff. It's not really going to be doing all that much. No herbivore's going to eat it. It's kind of served its purpose. It hasn't been grazed. We haven't burnt it. So all it's doing is shading out new growth. And one of the practices of burning fire is to get rid of that, or purpose of burning fire is to remove Maribun material, and there's quite a lot of it here. So I was just thinking to myself, it would be a good area to try and do a patch mosaic burn, which you do after a lot of rain when the grass is green. It's pretty safe, but because there's so much dead and dry vegetative material, well, no, it's not vegetative, but vegetation, in this case grass, it will still carry fire under the green grass that's growing. And what that does is it gets rid of this in a safe manner, and it means there isn't this dry grass that's serving no real purpose lying everywhere, shading out the potential of new growth. So what happens when you get this Maribun material is other grass can't get through because sunlight isn't getting to the soil, so you actually increase your bare ground surface area where there isn't any vegetative growth, especially from grass species. So when you burn it, you get rid of that Maribun material, allowing new shoots to come up because sunlight can now penetrate the ground. Well, it doesn't penetrate the ground, but it gets to the surface of the ground. So any ribosomes or grass that is sort of trying to spread out and grow will get sunlight on it and it can grow, whereas now it can't because it's shaded. And then you get a better covering of grass and less bare soil. Ideally, you'll have enough herbivores on a property consuming grass while it's still palatable, and you don't get this effect of a lot of Maribun material developing. Now eventually insects like ants and termites especially will break that down, but it's just a process that takes quite a long time. What's that? See, I've never driven here. This is a new road for me, everybody. Is it one of these little two-tracks? Skellum Roy Link. Okay. Hello, Brian. Hello, Michael. That's a little bit of management of sort of the ecological functioning of an area, identifying potential areas that could use some management. This might be one. Although, having driven here a little bit more, I don't know if a fire in the green season would carry very far because there's currently quite a lot of bare soil here. So all of the Maribun material isn't connected, because it does appear that some of the herbivores have been spending some time up here because the grass is cropped quite short from grazing. So if you've got to put a fire in, it may not carry and it may not be effective even though there's Maribun material. I think even a A fire at this time of the year when the grass is dry might struggle in some of these areas to carry through. So it's kind of a situation that you got to weigh up the pros and the cons, but it is pretty in here. It's a lot more open to the eastern parts of the reserve. You can see why they say it's savanna. Although this whole area is known as savanna, as the biome type. Everybody pictures savanna, open grassland savannas like in East Africa. But this is more of a woodland type savanna where you've got a mixture of grass and tree species. It's not just the open grassland savanna setting, that the romantic idea of Africa that gets painted from many of our documentaries and movements and movies. I said movement because I got interrupted by the radio. So you do get different type of savanna. The one that's portrayed the most is that of East Africa, Serengeti, Masai Mara, open plains, lots of animals. Ooh, what tracks do we have here? Is it hyena? It's hyena. Looks like spotted hyena tracks. Not so fresh. Walking down the road. Some really nice trees in here. This is the Antioch drainage line, hey? Yep. Nice. Not one we can drive, so many rocks. Quite pretty in here. Okay, keep going. What we should do is put up the camera traps again and see if we get activity. Victoria and I were chatting, we should maybe look at putting a lot of camera traps around the sunsloot, sort of in the area of Kudu Krip, just due to the fact that we have so much leopard activity there. There's a grey go-away bird that's changed my direction here, that it's just calling out that side. So we'll go on this road and just see if we can... Where is it calling? Over there.
Living this Sunday Lowveld with Baba Kevin, still slowly heading west, about the inside.
Where's this going to take me, so I know? Oh, it's going to take me to the fence. Anyway, maybe we'll just drive it to the fence and drive it back. Oh, there's another like crip here. I'm going to come and walk this drainage line on a nice cool day. It looks like it would be a nice one to explore. Not one you can drive on, so drive in. Anybody else got the feeling that something's going to happen this afternoon? I don't know, I just got this sense. Gonna find something cool. Let's drive that back. I don't particularly want to drive along the fence. I think there's a lot more to offer in here where I haven't driven. I have driven all the way along this fence line. A nice tamburti tree. There's a tamburti tree to my right. You can see sort of the dead wood on the right hand side where the bark has been sort of stripped off. I wonder if it's dead. There are some old leaves on it, so maybe we just need to see in summer. It could be a pretty tree, but it's got these dead wood features on it.
One rhino southwest of Western Dam.
It's a nice tamburti. That's a massive tamburti, look at that one. Hey Basil? It's pretty cool as well. You don't often see them getting thick bases like that. The trunk of the tree getting really thick. They're normally quite tall and slender. We're going to see a black rhino here somewhere, Basil. Are we in black rhino country? There's some zebra tracks. It would be nice to see some zebs. Have you? Can't believe I've never driven here before. I think you get fixated on what you know. And I have been a culprit of looking for leopards constantly in the areas that I think are good opportunities around the crypts, because that's where they get seen the most. So it's nice to change it up. It's stimulating driving a new road, or new series of roads in a new sort of area for me. New things to see. While we drive around, before we get all the activity that we're going to get later, this week's key word, and the week's photograph that comes along with that key word, for those of you that weren't with us on Monday, is a photograph of the cheetah that Basil took, and our key word is line, as it is the male cheetah that we refer to as Line. We had a request for a photograph of him with his collar because we hadn't put it on before. So there you go, it should be on screen now. Basil contributing.
Confirm, Sammy. Where are you operating for now?
First contribution. Wow, look at that. Nice picture.
Good, yeah, I'm fan.
Is that when you got them with the kill? Ah, there you go. Basil went out the other morning enthusiastically going to go film the cheetah, he said, and he found them.
Yeah, nothing.
And he filmed them and they made a kill.
Okay, copy.
This was on Monday morning.
As far as I know, the 4 liners were walking along the fence heading north.
Okay. There's a big junction. Let's carry on straight. I'm quite enjoying these more open areas. So yeah, if you want to get that picture, send the keyword line to info@painterdog.tv. You'll get that full res image on Monday next week when the new week begins, and a new picture is up for grabs. I will just say, if you haven't received the guinea fowl photograph, send me an email or send info an email. Oh, that's a hole, Ellie's. We did have issues with our emails last week. Somebody thought it was a good idea to send us thousands of emails. If you've also made a request that hasn't been answered, maybe it got caught up in all of those as well, so just send it through again. Oh, we can tend to that. We do apologize if we've missed anything. Otherwise, get this week's picture. We're still looking for that miracle keyword. Which will have to be reserved until we have one. We shall not speak of the species. Andrew's coming back, so I'm sure the luck will change on that front. The spotted cat that isn't a cheetah or a serval and technically doesn't have spots. Look at that, there are lion tracks here, old tracks, very old tracks. Elephants are not visible at the moment. Okay. Let's see where it goes before we commit. What is it, a tawny? Oh, Ellie's have pushed. Can you get it there? Elephants have pushed this tree over. I don't know if we can squeeze through there. There's a bird that took off. Maybe we'll have to go around it like this. It looks like that's what everybody else has been doing. Let's see if we can get it. Hey? Did it fly that way now? Yeah. I think it was a tawny eagle. I was trying to navigate around the tree and missed the takeoff because I last saw it land on this bush here, this one. So I missed it taking off again, trying to find a way around that tree. This area will be really nice when it's green after the rain, I think. Oh, elephants pushing over marulas, changing the course of our route. Looks like that's where rhino was sleeping. There's lots of zebra dung here. seat is so close. That's better. We might just end up near those jackals later, perhaps, or we're actually quite far when you look at it like that. After exploring out here, we might head into the central areas, go to Seskan Krip, start hitting the water points. Although a day like today, animals don't necessarily need to drink as much or as reliant on once it's cooled down to get their drinks in. They may have gone to the crypts through the day because it was nice and cool. Oh. I agree with you, Betty. Some of those big dead trees would make for some great photographic opportunities. They often do sort of make a scene, especially a sunset scene. Getting some rhino middens again. That would be a nice little pan over there with this rhino midden quite close during the summer when it's full of water. Find animals wallowing in that. Some oxpeckers calling. I wonder if there's anybody nearby. Can't see any herbivores that the oxpeckers may be on. Oh, it gets quite dry out here now. It's almost like that same belt that you get around Seskant, eh, Basil? Like this kind of bare soil landscape. And then here it gets quite rocky. It's amazing. The elephants have been pushing trees down here, making it more open. Lots of trees been knocked down by the elephants in this little spot here. Looks like mostly it's knob thorns. And a couple of other species. So, where do we go? Bushveld Dam. We're almost at Bushveld Dam. Not that I expect to see anything there. Right. Navigate some rocks here, as well as keeping Basil out of the thorns. Should get around it, Basil. There you see. Fine.
Male cheetahs near Rhino Bay, heading west.
No, the 2 male cheetahs have been found, but on the southern fence line, Rhino Pan. That's not far from where we had them.
Elephant herd is heavily just slightly east of Rietspruit.
Where we had them yesterday. Yesterday morning on the Zoom drive, we tracked the cheetahs for about 45 minutes from where they had left the airstrip. And then we found them on the southern fence by that Rhino Pan, almost in the southeastern corner, where they were interacting with the male from next door. And now they've just been found not too far from there, but coming back our way. So maybe tomorrow they will be somewhere around Hayes again. It sounds like the elephants have come out of the thick stuff. So maybe we'll try and see if we can get to them a little bit later. How are we doing there? Oh, perfect. Perfect space to squeeze underneath. This Buffalo Dam. Nothing there anymore. It looks more like an old dried up wallow than anything else. Should come around the corner now and get a better view of it. Wildebeest router? Where is he? 8 cake. You say 8 cake? Far away. Okay. Decisions as to where to go. That is the reality of all of our dams except Sequoia now and Leadwood and Hippo Dam. Not that we got a Hippo Dam. All the others are dry. There are some rhino tracks coming this way. Not too fresh. Oh yeah, Leopard Dam has a little bit of water left, you're right. So there's actually still quite a bit of water out in the system then. you consider the crypts. Wildebeest is dry, Mamba is dry, Pofad is dry. Is there one that I'm forgetting about? So half are dry and half have water. Where are all the animals hiding, Basil? In the thickets trying to stay warm. I should have brought some hot chocolate out for this afternoon's drive. That would have been nice. Anyway, it's all right. Should we see? Now Kevin says you can only see one elephant. Trying to see a gamble if it's worthwhile going all the way across to get a glimpse of those elephants or not.
Anyone coming forward here? Yeah, Sam, but I'm a little bit China from you. They are on the first line still heading west from Sam. Yeah, they're being kind of like on and off. They're heading towards Nyara route. But 15 meters into the bush, still heading west. Okay, copy.
So tough to try and see what tracks are on this hard road, no light. It looks like it's baboons. Baboons! Okay, so now we've got to make decisions. I think let's go for the elephants. Let's go into the area where the elephants are found and see if we can get them in an open spot.
50 meters into the bush. Anyway.
Okay, everything's fine. Oh, giraffe. Yes.
Sammy, what route did you take to get down that side? Did you go down the east cliff or did you go along Rietspruit?
There's a big male
Come down, Eco North all the way to the dam.
giraffe. Let's see if we can get a better view of him as he goes. Maybe there's some more there. Oh, a dyker running across the road.
So you didn't go on the east cliff at all. Eastern stands like fly from Yara Junction into Says East or the West Eastern Boundary State down here. Alright, okay. Okay, copy. These elephants are still heading west as they now on the southern side. Lowveld of South Africa heading towards Giraffe.
There's a big male giraffe.
You mentioned like 4 lioness is getting knocked on the fence. Which fence is that? East fence. That's why I was asking you if you saw tracks there, because I think they have come towards Agakaya or Lowveld of South Africa somewhere.
Sorry? She's stepping out.
But yeah, no tracks. I had tracks of one male that passed house and then he was going down the western fence and then turned in. I lost the track somewhere near.
Nice big male giraffe.
Okay, copy.
There's nobody else around, so it's just him by himself, which is not uncommon.
I went down the fence from Lowveld of South Africa and then one of the...
You do tend to see male giraffe on their own more often than females. Let's see, he's going to walk down that road and give us a better view. That's nice.
Good afternoon, stations. Jan going mobile on Kaya.
It's going to disappear now.
Jan, the only up
It's just walking away from us.
there was a rhino at Sexton heading south, there was a rhino near Rietspruit Dam.
If you saw him earlier, that nice big growth in front of his horns, all that calcium deposits almost on his forehead, just adding extra weight to his head.
Copy that loud and
I mean, other than being bigger than younger males, it's one of the things that you can tell that he's a big older male. And as they get older and they have more serious fights for dominance and for mating rights, having extra weight on the top of their head like that is so important to try and outcompete other males of a similar age or size that you might be competing for dominance and mating rights. So they do build up these sort of calcium deposits on their skulls, adding weight, which just increases those blows when they're sparring with one another. So the bigger and the older males are, the bigger those deposits are, and the heavier the skull is, and the higher the odds are of them managing to win fights and therefore secure breeding rights with the females and pass on their genes to the next generation. Go down through the deep slurch here now. And we'll... How far out are we to try and respond to those elephants? 5 minutes? Stations, I'll be keen to respond to the elephants. I'm 5 minutes out. Spotty cat, where are you? Oh, there's a Nyala bull and a monkey. Nice big Nyala bull. I saw an interesting photograph today on a WhatsApp group that I'm on of, I don't know if it was a female Nyala with horns, but it looked exactly like that male does, except having the female's colors. So it wasn't grey, black, brown kind of colors that the male is. It was the typical orange color of the female, but it had a full set of horns just like this male. Very interesting how every now and again genetics just don't go with what they're meant to be going with. And a little monkey jumping around there. I don't know if you can hear them communicating amongst each other.
Elephant herd now unattended. They're still moving west, parallel with Bushveld repair, and are now west of Giraffe. Simon, I'm going to respond to your runner, so I think I'll be there in about 10. Copy, no problem.
Oh, I don't know, Basil, you're going to get it. There's an African harrier hawk just flew out of this. Is it a jackalberry tree? Maybe it's a jackalberry tree. This tree here just flew out of there and across in front of us. But it's didn't look like it was carrying anything, like it had been raiding a nest or anything in there. Just show you a picture of an African harrier hawk, if you do not know what it is. This is a picture of the African harrier hawk. You can see those big feet to those massive claws. They've got double jointed joints in their legs, which allows them to raid nests and put their feet into cavities in trees to get at cavity nesting bird eggs, or not eggs, but chicks, raiding those nests, as well as into squirrel nests in cavities of trees. You often see them hanging under weaver nests, ripping weaver nests up to get to the chicks. And they've got this facial skin around the eye, and that, when they're excited, flashes this nice big red, or not big, but bright red coloration. And normally it's just this yellow, and it's quite a nice big bird in flight. Juveniles look a little bit different, almost similar to some of our other goshawk species, although they're a bit bigger than that. And the juvenile, you can see that red facial skin there. Oh. See if I've got any more comments here. Yeah, I've seen a couple of funny female impalas during my career at Mala Mala. I think I saw 3 with horns. There was one on the road in that you would see quite regularly driving through the Sabi Sound to get to Mala Mala, that had almost straight, like oryx type horns. Like these glasses, if you go to those, I don't know, young adults go to those parties and wear those big funny glasses, sometimes with straws and things like that. Kind of looked a bit like that. And then another female with almost normal horns for an impala, but very thin. So it's not something that is, well, it's unusual to see. I guess when your populations are just big enough, it will happen. When a gene is displayed when it shouldn't be displayed. Now we're going through the sun slit. Any spotty cats that side? Nope. Any that side? Nope. Ooh. Wrong gear choice going up the hill. I thought I had it, but I didn't. Okay, where were those elephants left? Somewhere here. Let's go down this one and then go left onto Lowveld of South Africa. And then they were walking west just south of the road, so we'll keep an eye and an ear out for the herd of elephants. Fortunately, they've made our job easier because they've come towards us. Although they aren't walking on the road, which makes it a little bit challenging. Okay, so when we go past Giraffe, we need to start really paying attention. So beautiful. Still can't get over these mountains. And you just get up on top of a crest at times and you get these mountains on full display. I mean, today they're not on full display because they've got a cloth of clouds over the top of them. But they still are beautiful. Okay. Let's go on to Lowveld of South Africa and begin our search for the elephants. Kevin left them about 5 minutes ago. And I said I was 5 out until we saw the nyala and the monkeys. So they should be up here somewhere. Giraffe is coming up, and then just beyond that is where the ellies were, so we'll see. And it's the whole herd. That could be fun. Nice to see cheeky chops again. They were at Sequoia Dam on Monday evening, but they only came down after we stopped streaming. So if they keep moving here and they don't come onto the road, we should get a good view of them on Giraffe. But that's not Giraffe. That's Sunsloot, but so it does mean we have kind of two opportunities to see them. Oh, there's some impala. Hello. Is it a mixed herd? It is a mixed herd. Two little boys. There's a lot of boys here, but there are females. So at first I was thinking maybe it's a bachelor herd, but it's not. You might see that they look a little darker this afternoon to what they typically are. All their hair is standing up, trying to trap a layer of heat to insulate themselves. You can see it with this younger male there. A process known as piloerection, the standing up of hairs. It's a cooler day, just trying to keep themselves a little bit warm by trapping a layer of warm air close to the skin, so they don't have their usual shiny coat that we're used to seeing with the impalas at this time of the year, when it's hot and they don't need to have any form of heat retention. Okay, let's carry on where the ellies left, see if we can catch up to them. Nice to see they're a pretty relaxed herd of impala. Usually the impala don't stay around for too long. Okay, now we're at Wilderfey. Where are our elephants?
Station on relocated this to Madagascar, still heading west along the first line. They are approaching Belarus now.
I'm hoping that they've come out onto the road somewhere here, it doesn't look like it, and make our lives a whole lot easier. I thought I heard something off to the right, but there's nothing. Who's going to spot them first, Basil? Have a competition, who sees the elephants first? There they are. They're on the road, making our life easy. Yes. Well, one of them is on the road. There we go, we found the elephants. He's carrying a stick in his mouth.
I know, standing by. The 3 cars are here at the junction of Rietspruit and Poole. Copy, I'm 5 minutes out.
These elephants do like to have fun with us by coming too close, and I'm not particularly a fan of having to tell the elephant no when it gets too close, and we're the ones that have been parked in the way. And there's not a lot of space for us here, so I'd rather just go down the road away from him, where we have a little bit more space that we can give him road to walk past us. But it looks a bit thick here. Then we find a little bit more space. It is so thick. I'm not worried at all in this situation. I just don't want him to come right on past the car and I've got to start talking to him, and I don't think that's good. But there's no space that I can give him, and he looks like he's just going to stay on the road. Come on, give me an open patch of sand or something, bush. Why is it so thick here? Do you think we could get in there and let him come, or is he going to go off the road maybe? Looks like he's going to go off the road there, which is nice for us. Yeah, I'm not driving away from him because he's intimidating us or anything. I just don't want him walking past the car and then, hey look, and we found the rest of them in the process. I don't want to have to clap my hands and make noise. I don't think that's right. And just letting them come close to the cars and stuff. So I'd rather just give them space for them to move comfortably rather than getting a response out of them because we are parked right in their path basically. They're going to pop out on Lowveld of South just now. We're not far, maybe 100 meters. They are walking quite quickly. So that bull is just following the herd. Okay, here we can actually turn around. Let's see where they go. We can hear where they're going. Lowveld of South is just behind us. Michael, they are always doing something. Elephants are always good to watch because they're up to something. It's just difficult when it's thick like this because we can hear them and they're actually not that far behind all of this thick stuff in front of us. We just can't see them at the moment. And that's why I don't want to be right next to the road between a whole lot of thick bush and an elephant towering up next to us and I'm having to tell them no and there's no real route for them to go passing us. That's why I was moving back the way I was. I don't fancy having an elephant coming within 1 meter of me in this tiny little car. Where are they going? Are they just going deeper? Can still hear them moving there. There's a lot of that grey grass we spoke about earlier in this area. This would also be potentially another good spot for sort of a patch mosaic burn. There's a lot more grass, a lot more trees, a lot more dead vegetation that will carry a fire even when the grass is green and there's a lot of moisture. You get a really hot day, the grass will burn because of the grey nature of the grass, the dead old grass of a few seasons. And that would open this up quite nicely with the effect of the elephants so that we could see them better. Right now, we can't see any elephants. We can just see grey bush. Let's go further down the road and see. Ooh, there's a tree, almost basil in the tree. You can just see the back of the elephants there. This is probably where they'll decide to spend some time feeding, wouldn't it? Where we just can't get in there. They're just standing there. Found a nice treat. Something's tasty. The speed as that elephant was walking, I thought we would get lucky. and they would keep going and get to Wilde, and at least we could see the whole herd. Now they're moving again. Can you see them through there, Basil? It's quite thick, eh? See, past these two knob thorns here, you might be able to see them walking. There you go.
Jan going onto Blaubank.
Oh, there goes a tree. And I don't think the elephants are going to come out now. Because they might feed around that tree. Some of these trees are starting to grow leaves, and there's the shoots are coming through now. So you might find them center around the tree that's just been pushed over. And they'll might stop moving here. There's Cheeky Chops. The only reason I can say that is because it's the only little one. Looks like they're all just spending some time around that tree, which they pushed over now. I don't know if it was the whole tree that they uprooted or if it's snapped, because then they would also start eating the roots of that tree that they pushed down, or pushed over rather. I can just hear them ripping it up now, so I think they might be in here for a little while, and we don't have much of a view, and as you can see in front of me is a wall of trees, so I don't think we're going to try and get in there to see them. I was hoping that they would come onto the road or be in a little bit more of an open area and we could view them a bit better. And I think due to them having pushed that tree over there, you're just going to spend some time there ripping the bark off of it, eating the roots if they toppled it and roots got exposed, eating the new fresh growth on the tip of the branches where the meristem is, and there's a lot of energy that the tree's putting into growth at those points. I did see that the one that they did push over it had some green shoots on the end, so I think they'll all move around the tree there, get in some of that nice stuff before they move on, and I don't think we'll sit here waiting for them. I think let's carry on, see if we can find anything of our own, something else. Nice to get that male on the road before he got a bit close, and I just wanted to give him some space. So it's good to see them, but I do think we could be sitting here looking at trees for a whole lot of time and not actually see the elephants due to them pushing that tree over, which is a little bit unfortunate because they were moving with some speed and there's a little bit more sort of open ground here that if they had walked through we would have got a better view, but they've chosen the real thick stuff there. I think there was a rhino around Seskant, so let's see if we can go down there and see the rhinos. But if they do drink and move, then it gets difficult. Stations, I'm leaving the elephants. They're now north of Lowveld of South Africa. maybe 150 to 200 meters east of Wildefay. They have toppled over a tree. There's no visual of them, you can just hear them. It's an open lock. Okay, where do we go from here? Let's go forward through the Sunsloot, down Seskant. Getting a bit darker, it's cooler. There's always the opportunity now that some of the cats have been moving around. Predators on the go. Haven't had to wait it out today because of the hot temperatures. So maybe we'll get lucky with somebody moving around. They did have some audio of lion now, southern parts of Blowbunk. We're quite far from here. And then apparently, Kevin was saying on the radio just now that they had tracks of the 4 lionesses going north on the eastern fence line, but somebody just drove down there, didn't see any tracks this afternoon, so they're all quite far, but maybe we get lucky with a spotted cat, Mabai and her cub somewhere around here. They do like to come up here towards Leadwood. Or the other spotty cat that we're so interested in trying to find. How those mountains, what a backdrop to spend one's evening. Hopefully, now that the sun is setting, although we will get none of that joy this evening. Maybe there's a little bit of a pressure change and we get some rain this afternoon, well, this evening into the night. That would be quite nice. Wouldn't be surprised if it rained overnight. Often happens like that. Gee. Get nighttime rain. You think when you go on
Blue Bank.
You think sometimes when you going out an afternoon game drive, you're going to get a downpour and it's going to be unpleasant and it's not going to rain. Well, it is going to rain and you're not really going to get much of a game drive in because everybody's rushing to get back under cover, and it doesn't rain, it holds off like it is currently, and then later on in the evening the rain comes. The Sunsloot. Look how nice that riverbed is. We might even have to use the spotlight a little bit tonight. Starting to get darker with these overcast conditions. Some drongos fighting there, can just hear their high-pitched call. Okay, rhinos are often in this central kind of belt on the reserve. There's a little duiker. Is it going to sit there for you, Basil? Oh, no, it's it's not going to hang around. It's quite typical. Oh, it's a real pity that those elephants didn't continue walking down the road so we could see them all. This is a beautiful big shepherd's tree. It would have been nice to spend some time with them. I think it's been a while since we spent some time with the elephants.
Kevin coming? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I found them again. I'll give the rest. Copy. I see they were north of the road. I turned around and came back here. Yeah, they're back on towards us now. I've got my two Dangala here. It's posted. Can I join you there? I'm near a route of circuit. Okay, what? Copy. Copy that. I'm responding in the next 10 minutes. In between inland and Spotlight. Heading south.
Kevin, Gareth, Kevin.
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
What's the position of those rhinos now?
They're on the first west of Rietspruit.
Copy. Oh, they're quite far, those rhinos. I thought they were at Sescom, but they're not. They're all the way on the other side. Far away. Let's see if anybody's drinking at Sescant and Kudu Krupp and do the usual kind of loop. Maybe we're in for luck this evening, being
Leaving this to Madura Shankan unattended.
in the central parts.
West of,
Catch somebody having a drink
west along the front line. Open luck.
with this temperature. Everybody's been hiding, trying to stay warm. We saw those impala with all of their hair standing up trying to stay warm. Don't blame them, it is cold this evening. Everybody else is hiding away. It was nice to drive the western parts of the reserve. Quite pretty there, nice and visually quite stimulating because it's taking in new environment and scenery. And something that I've noticed this afternoon driving around, I haven't really pointed it out, but we just went past another little midden type. It's not, I wouldn't really classify it as a midden. Well, it's actually technically known as a latrine because it's a predator. But hyena scat. Driving past that now, there was some white scat next to the road, which is hyena. I've seen quite a bit this afternoon, which I haven't really sort of taken note of before, seen a lot of it around. So that's quite encouraging. Maybe the hyenas are making a comeback after the male lions took a disliking to them when they first got put on the reserve a few years ago. So I have seen quite a few hyena scats around, which is nice. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anybody here at Seskant Krip.
On the east of Boskamp, where exactly on Boskamp you are?
What route should we take? Should we go Witgat and then down the Sandsloot to Kudu Krip?
On the western side of the...
Or we continue down here and go to Kudu Krip the other way, maybe check Levendurin Reservoir. Basil, what do you reckon? But should we come around, or do you want to go around like that? Go Seskudu, yeah, like that's what I was thinking. We go along the Sandsloot, where previously we've had quite a lot of leopard activity. Rhino activity here is quite common. This sort of area next to Seskant Krip, this road, this sort of more open
access
spot.
From west.
Go down Kudu Sate.
You can come straight from the eastern side way, yeah?
And then we can check Kudu Krip. How much time do we have? Probably not get across to Levendurin, but we'll see. It's still a bit too light for a spotlight. I'm trying to make my mind up. It's like, oh, is it about time? Get some eye shine in the bushes. Let's check. Okay, see there's a few comments coming in here. Let me see them. Michael, I think they're just going into the blocks because it's, for them, it's easy to walk through there, and that's where food is. So they're spending time in the thick stuff because it's just it's so thick. There's a lot of trees around. This time of the year, they're mostly going to be browsing. I don't even think they'll be feeding on any kind of grass. There's just nothing really palatable at the moment, so I think they're just going to be focusing on browse, and there's more than enough of that around. But that just means they'll spend times in the block. Well, in the blocks. They will spend time in the blocks, browsing and getting all their daily nutrients and food requirements. I don't think it's an avoidance of people. If they were avoiding people, it would be like that every time, but we have sightings where they don't mind us around the dams or the water points or in more open environments. They walk right past the cars. I think it's purely a fact that they're just going about their days and foraging, which is mostly made up of browse at the moment. Getting the cambium, ripping the trees up, getting to the roots where there's a good storage of sugary compounds as well as water. Maybe pushing trees over to get to the shoots that are just starting to appear on the top of the trees. Be a nice treat after the last couple of months where it's been pretty dry for them. So yeah, they don't avoid us. They're actually pretty chilled. I just don't like them coming too close to the car and not giving us many options, and then we've got to start almost telling them off for walking down the road, which is not my ideal, really. Maybe it's time for a torch. Fancy that. And then, I can't believe you got so much snow there at home, Mary. I think my ear thing has died. Get my other one out. This one I don't function too well with. It's very different. Well, got it in now. Allows me to communicate with Victoria. Which she likes. I'm just not used to having something in this ear. Always had an earpiece while guiding at Mala Mala, and that was in the right ear. Oh, it's getting colder out here. I think I'd have said that a little while ago. The last week hasn't been so hot, and I've lost my microphone. As I was zipping up my jacket, I lost connection with my mic. It shouldn't be so hard trying to connect this again. Okay, what are the last 15 or so minutes going to deliver? Deliver something special. Come on, Rietspruit.
Just cross Lowveld in a westerly direction, just close to where that rock stick is. You go blue bank.
See if there's any tracks coming down the road. There are only vehicle tracks. And diker tracks. Okay, who's going to place bets as to what is going to be at Kudu Krip? What animal is going to be at Kudu Krip? I have got a very safe bet. A very safe bet at Kudu Krip will be a diker. I don't think I've ever been to Kudu Krip and not seen a diker. Has anybody got any other bets that they are willing to place? Victoria is betting on a civet, which would be pretty cool to get on drive, but let's see. We're a couple out, you're running out of time. Victoria's getting really adventurous here. So the civet will be riding a diker. That would be quite funny. Basil? Any bets? A rhino would be a pretty good bet.
One thing for sure, we're going to find the crib.
We've got to find the crib, Basil says. Yeah, unless the elephants have done some serious damage.
Slowing down.
And there is
Can I come in?
nothing here. Basil won. I think Carol did too.
Right. Confirm you calling me?
Carol did.
You copy the message of Maduro Tanga? Yes, I did copy. Just email the food and we'll try and relocate after.
Can you hear Fiery Neck Nightjar's calling?
Okay, copy.
Okay. Let's go down Lemondurin. Maybe see if there's anything there. Come do a sleep out there, Basil, in the crypt. Not in the crypt, in the hide. See what comes down to drink during the night. You keen? Rather just put a camera. Takes the excitement away from it all. I still feel like I want to do that. I don't know about spending the night. But a day. I have to find a day. I think the windows may be closed for that kind of adventurous activity. spending the day in a crib. These days it's too hot. I think you'll boil in one of those hides. I think you could probably, potentially, possibly see quite a bit though. Mosquitoes, yeah. There would definitely be a lot of mosquitoes due to being close to the water. Whew. Might get carried away if you try and sleep there. What does Lemendurian have for us? Maybe Kudu Krip isn't drinking at Kudu Krip. Maybe she's drinking at Lemendurian Reservoir. That would be quite nice. I just think everybody's trying to stay warm this afternoon. Keeping out of the wind. Keeping as sheltered as possible. No rhinos at Kudu Krip, no duikers at Kudu Krip. That is a new for me. Maybe we'll be able to squeeze in Lemendurian Reservoir and Krip before we close drive. I'm hoping not though. I'm hoping we get something at the reservoir on the top of the crest here. Oh, there's a herd of impala. All their eyes shining back at me. Okay, come on. We'll probably have time to get down to Lemendurian Krip. Not an afternoon where the animals need to have a late afternoon drink. It hasn't been hot enough. Maybe they've been able to come through the day. Let's see. Nope, nobody here. Didn't see a single animal at any of the water points that we went to. That is unusual, isn't it? I wonder what we'll get on the way home. A day like today, when you have cooler weather and it's overcast and it's still dry as it is, you might find some of your rarer nocturnal species coming out a little bit earlier than you would typically expect. Because it's cooler, because it's still dry and we haven't had the rains yet, they just need to spend a bit more time out there foraging, trying to get their daily requirements in. And if it's been cooler, they can then maybe allocate more time to foraging because they can come out earlier in the night. So those are the kind of things that maybe you'd get now, just because it hasn't rained yet and there aren't any resources. But we have come to the end of our afternoon drive, everybody. It's been a little bit of a quiet one with the weather. It's nice to have had a break from the hot temperatures that we've had recently. But it was nice to see a new part of the reserve. Nice to see some impala and the elephants and the giraffe. But we'll try again tomorrow on our Zoom drive and then again on Friday. Maybe we'll have a turn of luck and we'll spend some more time with the characters of the Rietspruit Game Reserve. But until then, stay warm if you're in a cold part of the world and enjoy the rest of your days.